Hi, friends. Hello, LT. Where are you?
Okay, I was trying to get unmuted. I didn't set up Mission Impossible control over here, and so everything's sitting on my lap, including the laptop.
Let me tell you a little secret. I just realized, and I feel really bad.
What?
Melissa Cheese live. Damn it. I'm missing trip. Can I just, Melissa, can I stream your trivia?
Or just say, next time we can be used as a clue. The name of that channel that went live during my last trivia night. Who was?
How are you guys? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Sometimes alias.
I'm looking for my notes real quick of some things that I wanted to make sure I asked you all about.
Yes. Hey, Nay.
Watch me, Nay Nay.
I was waiting. Hot coffee. Good evening. Welcome in. The killer is short, possibly running around naked. Oh, this is amazing. You guys get to fill me in. Hi, Randy Sky. Welcome. Hi, Randy. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Oh my God. I love you.
Shell! Exclamation point. Oh, no, wait, exclamation point. Shell!
How are you, Shell? How's the grandbaby? You have a snowstorm there? Okay, save your battery. We don't want to talk to you now, but when you can, will you please call us? We miss you and we love you.
Call us every 5 minutes.
And I hope you're okay. Amelia, hi. Okay, I got to do it. And 5, 6, 7, 8.
I love when Jin Lou does that. That's like seriously wherever you go when Jin Lou goes and 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you for joining or coming in.
So I gotta actually, before I forget, let me go into the tubes and pull up Decipher on the tubes so that I can actually read comments. It's gonna echo. I'm gonna try and catch it. Hold, please. Oh, come on.
If you do it.
Oh.
If you do it, I was about to say I give you $5, but I can't do that right now.
Done. Shell, I'll take care of that. We're on it. I know, to be fair, I never got rid of the old group chat, so just so you know. Welcome here, you guys.
On Sunday. Oh my goodness, has it really already been a year?
Oh my God, I can't believe that. Y'all, her grandson is adorable. Absolutely adorable. Oh my God, your whole house is iced over? That's awful. Do you have everything you need? Can we send you anything? If you need anything, you let us know. We'll send you what you need. We'll find somebody.
Well, it was like 80s degrees here today. How are y'all frozen at ice? Oh, that storm.
Of course. Oh, snow. Damn, you guys get the snow. You have no idea how jealous I am. I know there's many people out there who like shut up, but I love a good snowstorm. I love a glass of wine in front of the fire. I love being snowed in with the fam. It's awesome. I'm sorry. I make the best of it. But I make the best of a lot of situations. And I was gonna tell Shell that we know a guy who can always we always know a guy. Hold please. There's my wolf. Y'all use those wolfy emojis because that's my wolf right there. Just stopping by to say hi. Okay. Well, woo and thank you. We love you, Wolfie. Take my snow. I know. I can't wait. I miss that saying so much. You have no idea. Tia, I can't with you. Look at this one. That was the other thing.
I like it when she's like, I can't with you too. Like you too.
I can't with you.
It's like all one word. It's just
I can't with you too.
And you can feel the sigh and like the eye look when she types it. Like you know it. Like you just
so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
When Shell was in charge, things ran pretty smoothly in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God.
Wolfie, I do want to tell you I love you. And oh, no worries. And hey, Wolfie, if you're on, please tell Melissa we're sorry. I didn't know she was going live at the same time. I hate that we did this. I never want to do that. There it is. There it is. Excuse me.
Yeah, I know.
How
and
much?
Believe me, we're getting every day. We're getting bigger and bigger, and that we're growing up every day. So you didn't think you could have with us before. Wait do you see how much we've learned, how we've evolved? Because Tia still, we'll talk about that tomorrow when you're bigger.
That's what I used to say to my kids. Next week when you're bigger.
I got it.
104 in South Australia. That's just rude. That's rude. I mean, listen, first of all, my Aussies, everyone knows I love my Aussies, but that's just rude weather right there. That's just rude. The sun needs to take a break.
Well, we were all running around in shorts or long sleeve t-shirt and shorts today on the East Coast. So
Shell said she misses story time with picture books. We had a little bit of that today. I wish you would have been there for it. You'd have laughed your ass off. Would have been amazing. We had story time with picture books today, where LFT read aloud to us, and we all just giggled. It was amazing. It's a good time.
But Shell, for the record, I've yet to make it through all the pages of a single book story time.
No,
because I lose the audience pretty quickly.
She either falls asleep, we fall asleep, or we die laughing. It's one of the that's just all that happens because she starts reading in voices and it's just the funniest damn thing. All right, I'm sorry you guys, we're off track. We're gonna talk Murdaugh, but we're gonna try and I'll be honest, today
where's my iPad? Where's the iPad?
I don't know where your iPad is. Your iPad. I did not watch the trial today, and because I had gentlemen working in my house still. So I did not get a chance to watch the trial. So I'm learning from everyone today. And also we wanted to talk about Mallory Beach and the boating accident. I want to talk about Netflix. Has anyone watched anything on Netflix lately? Where's my iPad? I know, right?
Well, if y'all are interested, I found it. So,
yay!
And I have a couple of questions about some of the things said yesterday with Buster up there that I wanted to see what people thought of.
Hi, proud grandma of two. Welcome. Hi. So nice to see you. I have been there.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, with a fan.
Oh, proud grandma, what'd you think? What'd you think about it?
Yeah. I'm into episode 3. I've not completed it, but I can't wait to hear some of your thoughts, you guys. You just finished it. Damn. Sometimes we gotta roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
And then other times we have Nadie throwing them. So sometimes you roll with the punches.
So far I'm liking the Netflix one. I mean,
she said she liked it better than HBO. I have to agree with you.
So far, episode 1 I'm liking a little better.
I like it for different reasons, though. I'm just going to be honest. I like it for different reasons because they focus more on Mallory Beach and her case.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit, and I mean, they go into Paul quite a bit, and we can talk about it, but I did. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to throw that in.
No, that's okay. You find yourself disgusted with the entire family. Hot coffee, I think we all do. And I mean, I've said it a million times, like, I feel bad for Paul. Paul's an asshole, but I feel bad for him. He's a kid. And then I watch this and I'm like, I don't know how this kid went through life without getting his ass kicked.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding.
I know you're not. I'm signing into our Murdaugh drive so I can have it handy if we need it.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make sure everyone in the chat knew that's what I was doing.
Do you hear the satellites syncing up? Do you hear? You pray for their souls. Me too.
I'm telling you, this is what gets me about it. I mean, I would have to imagine if you put my family and some things that we've been through under a microscope, we could tear it apart as well. Don't get me wrong. I think we all have that. It's the nature of the beast. We all have the good with the bad. But I gotta tell you, I think some of this stuff, once you watch it and then watch Alec in this trial and some of the points that they're making, you can see how there are two sides to their life. I mean, like, the whole thing about the birthday was killing, like that they keep bringing that up. The picture with poor Chris Wilson is probably like, we all please stop playing that clip of me hugging my friend. But what it didn't, I think I mentioned this to Tia, like it killed me because I was like, that's so funny because that's that weekend, the May 26th, 27th, like the birthday weekend. But that's also, what else happened that weekend? Not only was it like, oh, the loving family, the birthday party, which Buster really didn't, I don't think he really remembered too much about. But I'm not surprised because there were messages from May 26th from Maggie to Rogan Gibson, like when they've been out on the boat and it's all like, hey, do you have what was it? Like, do you have any medicine or something that Buster got all cut up on the barnacles on a pilot? Like, they've been out on the boat and Buster was all cut up. Like they'd had a good time. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying do y'all realize like that birthday party thing is great, but within, 24 hours of that, there was this other side that everyone else knows about too. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
I do. Did you see Proud Grandma of Two's comment I put up?
They went through more. Yes.
I agree.
I appreciated that a lot too. And you know what else was really interesting? I know we got some of that. I know we've mentioned it before, but like that footage within the hospital in the HBO clip of it. But Netflix, to see them like seeing Mallory's mom run down the hallway, like literally enter the hospital and run, like it just
tore my heart out.
I mean, it makes it is so human and so real that it makes you realize that there was a child missing still at this point in priorities.
Not according to some of the Murdaughs. Wheelby, welcome home. Thank you for being here. How's mom doing today? I can't continue until I get my Wheelby mom update. I need to know all the things and how everyone's feeling. Are we having a good day today? Mom was feisty the other day, so I'm hoping she's still feisty and keeping we'll be on our toes. After watching the Netflix, I have a whole new opinion of this family. Ooh. Oh, and 5678 says, I was trying to show it. She actually thought AM was innocent until now. Wow. Punksy. I have an emoji I'm working on for you. Welcome in, Punksy.
Hey, Punksy. I can't get in.
You can't get into what? To our.
Wait, maybe I can. Maybe I misspelled it. Yeah, I misspelled it. I did it.
Yay.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I've been running around all day too as well, and so I'm not as prepared right this minute. I apologize.
We purposely did this late so that we would be more prepared. And unfortunately, the day I didn't.
Apparently, life was like good, nice try. I love that.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect to have workmen in fixing things for 4 hours today. I thought it was going to be like, we're going to stop by and take care of that thing that you needed fixed. And then it was 4 hours later, and I'm like, you can go. You guys can go. And they're like, okay, well, we got to come back. And I'm like, oh, looking forward to it. Ugh. Sometimes. Oh, I have things to say about Poot and Jim. I think they need their own comedy show, by the way. I wonder if Poot would have shown a 5'2" robots driving the boat if he had defense in the case. Right? Oh my God. We're gonna work on that. I got you, girl. I got you with the ghost. I got you, boo. My boo. Your daughter-in-law thinks he's innocent, and me and her goes over. It's like we have our own. It's true. Mm-hmm. That's so true. Like, we do that where we have discussions. We're like, oh my God, did you see this? And then, in fact, the gate is one where we disagree on the gate. She thinks the gate wasn't there. I think the gate was there. We're like going back and forth on this. And hold on, I have to see what's going on with Wheelby. Good. Doc said she can bear weight on her leg, and she wasted little time doing so. She woke yesterday morning standing behind her walker, answering the front door. I told her she was feisty. Is Alex taking the stand tomorrow? I would seriously doubt it. But, I mean, huge mistake, but I look forward to it. Listen.
Hey, CB Cal.
Hi.
Trains. I'm writing down trains because I want to look that up for you. Okay. I kind of forgotten, but I'm writing it down literally right now. Trains.
Planes and automobiles.
I got it. Look at that.
What were we going to talk about, though? There was something else.
Oh, well, we both had crazy ass days.
How about this? You want to talk about you want to talk about the hate gate?
I want to. No, I don't even. I still am scarred by that message.
I sent her a message, and I said, it just said hate.
But no, wait a minute. First, it comes in like this. I forget one thing. So the 3 little blue bubbles that I see on my phone, one says MS, like message, MSG. That was related to something else, though. But all I see is message, hate, gate. 3 words in 3 different texts, like 3 different iMessages. And I go, okay. And I ask, what's hate gate? Like, are we in it?
She's like, what's hate gate? And I'm like, no, the gate. I'm trying to talk about the gate because I saw it in the Netflix, and I was trying to, and stupid SIRI decided to change. She got a little bossy with me and decided to change my wording to hate instead of gate, which I thought was terribly rude because that is not a word I write. Crime Sleuthin', welcome in.
Y'all, she did an awesome live too last night and is doing more and more. So please go check out Crime Sleuthin's channel.
If we have her link, we need to drop it.
Discussion yesterday. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
it was so productive and just I liked it.
we both said that your voice is soothing and we enjoyed it. It's definitely something that I want to listen to all over again. So welcome.
I think I
We're
kind of
so
actually
glad.
startled Tia because out of the blue, I was kind of like, you know what? She's like, what? And I was like, Crime Sleuth has a really nice voice. And she was
She
like,
did?
what? Like, and this was like minutes after we'd been like, it just came out of nowhere. And she was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, I know, but you know when you just have, I mean, I don't know if people ever before I open my mouth, you know, you have like
her thoughts happen in a loud voice.
yeah, and I was like, oh my god, and Tia was just like, oh my gosh, I can't.
I don't think he'll take the stand either. I think that would
I don't
be
think he will.
a terrible idea.
I think Griffin tried to make the point they already had hearing them debate for the crawl because that's what they were talking about. They had been discussing with their client the option of testifying and hearing that whole debate between Griffin, like Harpoon was like, Griffin, what Mr. Jim had some things to address with the court. To hear him say it, and Jim stands up and he's like, oh yes, a section 404B something talking about with our client. They basically know that he's going to get drilled on the cross, like especially cross-examination, especially on cross-examination pertaining to the financial aspect of this and his dishonesty. And they're trying to finagle whether or not is that an appropriate line of questioning. But that's the thing, by Alex putting himself up there, he opens himself up to said line of questioning. So I don't know, but watching poor Newman, just the fact that Court TV had to do 8.5 minutes just to make the single clip of that portion of this morning was hilarious to me.
I don't think Alex is going up either. Tia LFT, the first big take for the Netflix series is Alec bought insurance on Moselle roughly 1 month before Gloria Satterfield accident. Wink, wink. Pretty good timing. I do think it's interesting timing. And you know what? We are going to be working the Gloria Satterfield portion of the case. We're deep diving that now. And looking very forward to that portion of the case. Like I said, I'm so emotionally involved with the Mallory Beach portion that when I watched the Netflix today and how, oh my goodness, how they spoke about Gloria and the love that she had for Paul, that broke me. Oh my God. I was like, now I wonder really what happened.
I know.
I had a serious theory on that one. And now I'm like, I don't think Paul did anything. I don't. I'm just saying in my out loud voice.
Wait, what did I send you last night that had you that made, because I was like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm trying to sleep. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm still gonna probably message you, and I did.
I think I got
6 or
8 messages. Yes.
The rumor, and it literally like woke you up. I got like this. All I got back was like a gif of like some like going wide-eyed from sleep to like wide-eyed. What did you think about that?
I'm actually looking at it now. I have the tethered to the jungle gym. What are you doing now at 1:04 a.m.? At 1:14, I answered, trying to sleep-ish. At 1:19, oh, okay. At 1:21 a.m., okay, there's a rumor Alex's dad ordered the hit. Good night. And I just sent back a gif of me like opening my eyes. And she sent one back saying, oh, you got that right. Isn't it interesting timing? I said, where is this? She said, on a news channel. An attorney in the area references it. She sends me the link. And I said, oh, and then I didn't reply anything until 1:32 this afternoon.
I know. It was a little, I lost interest.
1:32, you sent it to me a.m. and 1:32 p.m. I respond.
Yeah,
I'm sleuthing. That was very kind.
You so
Thank you for the super sticker. Hey, you. Look at you.
Oh my gosh, Crime Sleuthing, what are you doing? You're too nice.
Beautiful, young, smart, talented young lady taken from. Oh my God. Really beautiful and talented and kind and just all the wonderful things that. Lady, what are you doing? Goodness gracious, thank you so much.
One for each of you. That is so nice, but don't feel like you ever have to do that.
We
Never,
thank you
ever,
for
ever.
your
You're
so
so nice,
kind.
I really did though enjoy your chat in your live, but I mean, just I meant the chat as well because it was so nice just having.
You know what? Sometimes I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes the chat makes the creator. I'm not gonna lie. There's been some chats that I really loved, and I didn't enjoy the creator as much, but I love the chat. So you actually have both. Oh, Nightbot, never been so happy to read. Miss Lou, welcome. Welcome. How are you? Bubba got blamed for the death of Gloria, and I should have this up on the screen, shouldn't I? And if Alec takes the stand, he will blame Bubba for knocking him over. I know. That's the truth. I know. That is so true. Poor Bubba. He takes the blame for everything. Hey, listen.
There was something else.
You coming in here, crime sleuthing, is we just appreciate you being here and your support like that. Just know that we are truly honored that you're here, and we thank you for your kindness. Honest to God.
Y'all be there was something else I wanted to ask, and then I saw Jen Lou, and then I was like, oh, and then there was that too, and it made me think of something else. Okay, let's shake my head and reset. What are we talking about?
I'm watching. Nay is thanking Jen Lou for a wrench. Smartest decision Jen Lou could have made. She's a wonderful, wonderful mod. That's such a good decision. There's 2 names I throw out for mods, and that's one of them. She's just awesome. She will take such good care of you. So we were talking about the Netflix stuff.
Okay. We said about seeing the parents. I think actually having more perspectives and seeing more of like Mallory and oh God, I'm so sorry, Miley and Morgan and Connor, plus their parents, really shed something that illuminated like the heart of the matter, I think.
I agree. Anthony did a lot of talking. I thought he was so credible and just so heartfelt, and first of all, I adore his mom and dad. I adore him. But you learn so much, different perspectives and things. And I just appreciated, there was a lot of, like what you said, behind, like things that, behind the scenes stuff that you may not know. We knew most of the stuff studying the case. There was no great, huge surprise, I don't think. Was there? Was there anything like you were like, wow, hey?
Well, I've only gotten through all of episode 1, but I feel like I've watched so much on it that but I'm like, even though I feel like I've seen so much on it, like I'm not gonna not watch it because
it's not boring. I mean, it's definitely it's very well done.
And then
go ahead.
Them talking about like Alex's behavior while they were in the hospital, like hearing Morgan say that, like because I could see it, like when she was like there, he was just like tapping on that glass window, just
while she's having surgery. Surgery, that blew my mind. She is having surgery. He's tapping on the door, like, she's with me, and her parents are hearing this. I'd be like, she is. She's my kid. Or if it's not, you can start paying the college bills because I'm sorry, sir. Where are you coming from? Speaking of Capri Suns, if anyone sees the orange flake one, that'd be fun to buy a case and send it to him in prison just for kicks. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
We're gonna have to go back to everyone who was if you didn't catch Jen Lou's earlier, be sure to go check it. I'm gonna be one that's got to go back. I was running around crazy. But for the recap of today, because I'm going to need her to help me think through the thoughts of the pieces that I did see today.
What did you see today?
I saw
Tell
Barbara
me.
Mixon on the stand.
Yes. Oh, and
Just
5678, congratulations. You received your first French on a UK creator channel. Such a great feeling. How
oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
Congratulations. It's a big deal. I think when you get a wrench, it's a big deal. So that's pretty cool. Hi, Aries.
Oh, hey.
Welcome in.
Didn't see everyone popping in.
You were confused by a lot of it today, Jen Lu?
Okay. Jen Lu, what else did Barbara Mixon have to say? Because she just is another, like, I looked at her up there and I was like, I can't believe she's brought into this. First of all, I can't believe he dropped her name on the, the call with the law enforcement, after the September 4th event. Like, he just dropping names, but just the dichotomy. And I don't mean that, how do I say this in a way? Because I do not mean to be disparaging. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you see someone that's not nearly as well off as the Murdaughs, and you just look at these people who are coming up, and it breaks my heart for them. Like, look at the kid, like, kind of Blanca, but Shelley.
Just I dropped the link for Jen Lu. If she wants to come up, she's welcome. If she doesn't, that's okay too. I just wanted to invite her just in case. How many friends do Murdaugh family have in Sled, South Carolina department? You know what? A ton. I thought that was such an important thing. All of the John, what's his name? John Marvin and his best friend being with the DNR. It just so many. Oh, Crime Sleuthin'. Hold on, I'm going to add her to the stream. I love this. Thanks for coming up. Hey, Crime Sleuthin', welcome.
Well, hi, beautiful ladies. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I am so with Jen Lu on this because I think maybe I wasn't paying attention as much later. But I had to go back and rewatch Mark Ball's testimony twice to really get what he was getting at in a lot of these. I don't think they did a very good job. I really don't. Because, I took notes the second time I watched it, and it seemed like he was only called up there like the other, when he said that he and his friends cleaned up the pots and dinner, right, and put the stuff in the fridge and the sink. I figured that somebody had done that. I remember the housekeeper acted like that was just such a big deal. And even back then, I thought, no, because there were so many people there that night. Somebody had to have done that. You would think that the jury would be able to figure that out, too. It's kind of common sense. Somebody else had to have done that.
Right.
It didn't have anything to do. I did like Buster's testimony about like it as in how well they presented it. Didn't like that he said it because I didn't really believe him at all. I checked all my Gucci receipts. I didn't buy any of his bullshit.
I checked all my Gucci receipts.
But when Buster said, he had gone over there early the next morning and showered, and he might have been the one to leave the mess that the housekeeper found, I didn't believe that at all because she never mentioned seeing Buster.
That's what I thought was interesting as well. And do you know what else, Crime Sleuthin'? Did you catch this? Like how Buster basically implied once he got to Moselle that night, like he was always with his dad, especially in those immediate days following, like no matter, kind of where they were. And
yeah, I mean,
I wanted to be like, well, were you with them when he the next morning, June 8th at 9:08 a.m. when he's entering the law firm building? Did you go with him there, or did you even know that he went to a law firm?
Exactly. How was he at the law firm? But Buster said that Alex and John went to the house with him. That everybody showered.
Yep.
I'm like, what? That math don't math. He also said that Buster arrived while he was still at the house, but Buster said he didn't get there until 2. And I didn't see a phone call to Buster from Alex on the timeline.
I saw an outgoing one. Actually, I'm looking at my phone right now. I think, Tia, we just talked about to read this to you earlier. Oh yeah. From the,
Does it show what time?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, after he calls 911, an outgoing call to Buster occurs at 10:44:20 p.m. But he calls. Wait, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think 13, and I need to double check. I've got the timeline right, or like the report right in front of me. Let me double check. But he does roughly 13 calls or messages to other people. Granted, I mean, I don't knock him for calling Randy and John Marvin, but before calling his son, he made 10 times more attempts to Rogan Gibson before he ever called Buster.
That's convenient. Okay, how long was his call to Buster?
Let me look. Okay, let me grab sorry, I really should have brought a desk over here. And I'm really sorry. It's really loud.
Hi,
hello. Hello.
Welcome. Hello. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Aries, they can't do Nightbot commands, but I can make that a thing if you'd like to. I think that's a wonderful idea. I think we can make members only Nightbot commands. I think that'd be fun as hell. Why not?
Okay,
why the heck not?
10:35. Y'all got it. I emptied a Watts binder and put Murdaugh in it. It was a big I know.
Boo.
Right. Okay. Okay. 8 seconds long at 10:44:20. And then he called. Then Nolan Tootin calls Buster for 1 minute at 10:44. Wait, 10:44. Nolan Tootin calls Buster 60 seconds. So 9:44 to 9:45. At 9:44:20, Alex must have been trying to call Buster. That was 8 seconds long. He gets in touch with Brooklyn at 10:45, and they talk for 13 seconds. And you know what? He calls Buster again. Nope, he sends a group message to Buster at 10:47.
Because that's Buster what you do when your mom and your brother have just been annihilated. You send a group message.
Wait, so there's not a phone call, it's just a group message?
No, it doesn't. In terms of Alex's outgoing calls to Buster that night after the 911 call that he made, there's one at 10:44:20 that was only 8 seconds long.
Okay, that's not long enough to say, hey, are you sitting down and explain?
Yes. At 10:45, Alex calls Brooklyn White, and they talk for 13 seconds. Then Alex calls Tracy White. I don't know if that potentially is a relation to Brooklyn. I did not catch that. But then he called. Buster tried calling Maggie Murdaugh at 10:46, and then Buster called his dad at 10:47, and they talked for 162 seconds. So 60 and 60 is 100, so 2.5 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So I guess he finally was able to get in touch with him, and Alex answered an incoming call from Buster.
Okay.
At 10:47.
So Buster, when he testified, he said he left between 10:30 and 11. His house.
That is what he said, and he arrived at 2:30, right?
And what time did Buster call Maggie?
Okay, Buster
10:44.
10:46, right?
10:46.
So
Buster Murdaugh calls Maggie Murdaugh.
Does anybody happen to remember what time Blanca said she arrived at Moselle that next morning?
Hold on.
7:30 or 8, I think she said.
Oh, I think Jen Lou's right. I was about to say
7. But why if Buster was told that Maggie is dead, why would he call her phone?
I was just going to ask the same question.
Now, I'll say this. After my mom passed away, I used to call her phone because I wanted to hear her voice message.
Oh, I did that too. I used to, and I recorded them too. Her last several voicemails, I would call my voicemail.
Listen. I still have mine. Yeah.
And my brother-in-law downloaded a voicemail that my mom left my sister so that she and I would always have our mom's voice. And I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it.
Oh.
I know. I think it's on my other phone. I think I still have it. I just have to plug my other phone in. But for a long time, until we had the phone turned off, I would call her.
I still have my dad's voicemail from 2014.
But did y'all do that like the night of? I mean, I had to. I remember doing it with my
not the night of. No.
You know what? Actually,
wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Okay, so the night right after my mother called me and told me that my sister had died, she was 38. That was in 2008. I was in shock and everything, and I do remember actually that when I kind of came to, I remember that was one of the first things that I did. I called my sister's cell, even though I knew. I remember doing that.
Actually, I was just going to say, I did call my grandfather, and I left a message on his voice machine of me crying hysterically. And then what was weird is I flew out, and I'm the one who had to clean up the answering machine. So I was like, I'm the only one to hear this. This is dumb. Why did I do this? But I did do that. Now that you just reminded me that.
I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's like, I don't want to be too judgy. It's possible that he did it for all the reasons that we did it. I mean, maybe he did want to hear his mom's voicemail for maybe one last time.
Yes, maybe the voicemail is why he called.
But I'll say this. Go ahead.
No, I'm with y'all because I did it too, but it was like several weeks after, and I did it, and I left my stepdad like a message, but it was just to hear his voice. But I don't know. I'm with you. Sorry, I just interrupted, Lou.
No, I interrupted you. I think so. For me, I was thinking about this, and I always remember a good response or a part right when it's like something I need to say. But not when not in the moment that I need it, like after the fact. And we were talking about Maggie's phone and what that expert proved. And I was thinking about it, and somebody in my chat asked me, well, how do we know that that's like their time of death based off of their phone data? And I was thinking, and I gave an answer, which I guess was an all right answer, but this answer would have been better. Because if they had been alive, don't you think Maggie would have fucking called Alex back? Yeah. He only blew up her phone like 6 or 7 times. Don't you think?
Call me, babe. Call me, babe. Call me, babe.
Don't you think? Or she might have sent up a text, something.
Something to respond, I would think, yes.
But she didn't. And don't you think Paul would have called Rogan back?
Exactly.
Oh, I definitely do. I
mean, wait a minute. Granted, Paul's phone was at 2%, okay? But I did point this out. He wasn't like, in the middle of a jungle or something. He was just down at the kennels. He could have run back to the house and charged his phone, or he could have run to the hangar and charged it. That obviously had electricity because there was. Oh my God. You don't want to hear something crazy I just did. So I went outside to the back porch, and there's this cat sitting next to me. And I'm like, where'd this fucking cat from? It's my cat. He snuck out. Yeah, it's my cat. And I'm like, where did this? Because there's a bunch of strays in the neighborhood, and they sometimes come in the backyard because I guess they know that it's fine. And I was like, I wonder, this is a new little neighborhood cat. And then upon closer review, it's Mac. Get in this house.
I am not a fan of our neighborhood cats. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just realized something. Y'all are right. He didn't. Guess what? The first calls to Buster from Alec, how they were so short. And then even the 14-second or 13-second to Alec, to Brooklyn from Alec. Get the heck out of town. That text that Alex sent at 10:47 p.m. to Buster, Tracy White, and Brooklyn White. And I don't mean to talk. I believe that's probably
That's
her brother or
Brooklyn.
someone. He states, "Call me urgent." So it sounds. Why would you send that text if you've already they know what's going on? So I'm guessing Buster still doesn't exactly know yet. And then at 10:47, Buster calls Alec immediately after getting that message, and they talk for 2 minutes and 42 seconds. So that puts him talking to his dad, finding this out at 10:42 p.m.
But I thought,
and then he talked to Alex again. It's 10:30 from 10:56 to 11 for 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
Okay, that makes sense. But I thought Buster testified that he overheard.
No, he testified that the girlfriend overheard.
Brooklyn overheard.
Okay.
She got up to pack
because that's right.
Yeah.
She got up to she does the packing for Buster, and Buster does the packing for Alec. Okay, I got it now.
Yeah. And so Buster's right. He didn't leave at 11 though. He's still on the phone with his dad at 10:59:36 p.m. hanging up with him. This is right after the urgent call. That's his set. He talks to Alec from 10:47 to 10:42 p.m. and then from 10:56 to 10:59:36 p.m.
Well, they must have booked it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you this. This is why I'm not a fan of witnesses being allowed in the courtroom prior to their testimony, because I would feel a lot more confident in what Buster relayed with respect to what he found out, when he found out, what he did, if he hadn't been in the courtroom the last month while they were going over the fucking cell phone data.
Yeah. See, that was my issue. I didn't understand.
I don't like it.
I said that in your chat. I thought it was interesting that he was allowed.
Every witness is allowed. Tinsley's still chilling right behind the prosecution table. We spotted him today.
Was he really?
I didn't know that. See, I didn't watch today. Damn it. I got to go back and watch now.
Because I cannot think of the first law partner's name who took the stand today.
Oh, wait.
Parker?
I think I got it.
No.
Oh, it's going to drive me. Hold on. I just was looking at it. Let me look at YouTube.
Crosby? No, that's not it.
It's in my watch later. Hold on. Here we go. It is, you mean the former guy? Does he?
No.
The guy that was the former ex-law partner.
Ball.
Not Ball. The older gentleman. I lied. I was wrong, because the older gentleman worked on the boat case.
Okay.
Right. I don't even know if I wrote his name down.
And, but maybe Ball did too. One of them had some of them had conversations with Tinsley.
Oh, you know what I wanted to show? Actually, before I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. I wanted to show that video that I sent you, LFT, of Poot and Jim at the boat case.
This is awesome.
Oh my God, Poot.
Would that be okay?
Poot was extra today.
I'm going to go ahead and step down.
Okay.
So
yeah, me too, because my phone's about to die too.
Well, thank you guys for coming up.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
I'll be in chat. Yeah, I'll still be in chat. I gotta get off. My phone's about to die, and I didn't want to start up the laptop. It was being laggy as hell today.
Understood. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
See you. Bye.
Thanks, Crime Sleuthin.
Hi, Crime Sleuthin. Wait, before I go, there was one more thing I wanted to say. I can't remember what it was. Shit. Well, Poot was in Fuego today, and I couldn't believe that Jim tore himself away from his highlights magazine. For Pete's sake, to stand up and make that absolutely redonkulous argument. And then, look, here's the deal. In theory, Alex can actually refuse to answer questions. He can, and the judge will find him in contempt. But how's that going to fucking play out in front of the jury? That's ridiculous. I think he's going to testify, you guys. I don't know why I think it, but I
Stop
do. I think
it.
he's stupid enough to testify. I think he is. I think he's stupid enough to do it. Otherwise, why would Jim Griffin bring that up? Maybe, unless
Like as
they were having
witness.
like maybe they were having talks about it, and there was an argument, and Jim Griffin, I'm giving you the hugest biggest benefit of the doubt, Jim. You better thank me later. Perhaps he stood up and made that argument to show Alec the judge is not going to stop him from asking you about the financial shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, it was something to prove to Alex, you know, like you can't, they're going to be able to ask you whatever the hell they want to, Alec, and you're going to have to fucking answer. You can't take the stand. Maybe that's why he did it. I'm giving him the benefit of doubt, but also simultaneously I'm side-eyeing the shit out of him, because don't be playing with us like that, Jim. You've already opened the door and let in shit you weren't supposed to let in. You've already monkeyed around way too much, and you're opening the door for a potentially successful, ineffective assistance of counsel.
Or do you think they're doing it on purpose so they could, like, they think they could swing it so it would work in their favor in terms of a potential appeal or
That's what I'm talking about. That's what an ineffective assistance of counsel would be. Those are hard to prove, though. I mean, look, Brandon Dassey has one, and it's been denied, and his attorney allowed the prosecution to go and question his client without him being there for hours. And I'm not talking about the first time. I'm talking about like after the arrest. That's total ineffective assistance of counsel. They administered tests too.
Someone else was, there was another large case that somebody was going after. Oh, and I'm drawing a blank now. I cannot remember. Of course, just when I wanted to think, oh.
Did you know in the West Memphis 3 case that Dan Stidham, by Arkansas state rules, was not qualified to handle Jesse Miss Kelly's case?
Why not? No, I didn't know that. Why
because
not?
He wasn't qualified because of he didn't have enough experience as a trial lawyer. He'd never handled a felony, and he'd never argued in court, and it was a potential death penalty case. And so he by Arkansas's own state rules or the laws, he was not qualified to represent Jesse Miss Kelly. That is an excellent ineffective. He testified at Jesse's Rule 37 hearing, which is an ineffective assistance of counsel, and they denied it.
That's
ineffective assistance of counsel is really it's hard. It's a hard one to prove.
I was going to say it's very difficult to prove. And there is a case out there that's, and I have to look it up now because it's going to drive me nuts, where somebody attempted but lost because it's so hard to prove.
It's very difficult.
It's
very difficult.
That's really interesting. I didn't even, because I thought that was like second-hand embarrassment to watch Griffin make that, as when wasn't he like Harpootlian was like, I think Griffin has something to address with the court.
Yes.
Yes. Just like, it was just like
right then my side eye came on immediately. Like the Poot, I thought we talked about this. I thought we decided that Jim was going to get the Highlights magazine, and if he ran out of those, we're going to go round up some kids menus that function as placemats and menus and busy work from the local restaurants to keep him entertained and out of the way. And then he says, Jim has something he wants to say. Get out of here, Poot. What are you doing?
That was the funniest thing. The way he said it, and then all that poor stuttering. And what kills me is that, other attorneys and, members, anyone surrounding legal field all say locally that, like, these guys are great trial lawyers. And I'm going, I don't doubt that they're not good. Don't get me wrong. But it's like everything's so jumbled right now. I don't think anyone's looking spectacular, to be quite honest. But I just don't see, like, where is, like, what makes him such a hound dog in the courtroom.
I can't see it with Griffin, but see, I think Harpootlian's shtick is that, when he starts umming, he's not, I believe it's intentional. Nobody ums that much. And I think it's a form, it's a way to put the person on the stand at ease. And then right when they get comfortable, particularly, he does it the best. He's best at it on cross. Right when they start to get comfortable, that's when the poop goes in, which I actually like. But what I don't like is what he pulled today, which was the objection about the lawyer standing in the doorway, because I find that he does these things a lot. He does disrupt the rhythm of questioning, which I understand as a tactic, but to me, it feels like a little bit dirty pool and kind of lowbrow. And he should, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a fan of that. It's in a way feels like cheating a little bit. And I don't want to win. I wouldn't feel comfortable getting a win that way, but whatever. That's probably why I don't make the kind of money the Poot makes. Because
Poot and Jim should have their own show. I just want to go on record and say that. And Poot's acting ability deserves an Academy Award when he was holding the gun. Yeah.
Well, when he argued back, the Poot did the objection, and then the prosecutor, not Waters, the other one, starts with an M. Mixon or something. Mixon.
Oh no, I was thinking of the Fox person. Never mind.
I can't remember what his name is, but he said, "Well, Your Honor, he pointed a gun at us the other day, and he did." And you can just see poor Judge Newman. He's like, "Man, y'all are treating this shit like romper room. Get a hold of yourselves. We're all adults here, right?"
Yes. Tempting. And I was like, "Oh, you deserve that. You did that on purpose. You used all the glue on purpose."
Yes.
I know you.
Yes.
I just wanted to show you guys like the first couple of minutes of this. Okay. This is actually the civil hearing for the boat case.
Oh, okay.
Poot and Jim are, it's just,
I know what I was going to tell you, and I have to tell you before I forget.
Tell me.
I watched some of the Netflix. I noticed that the hospital footage was in there. That's number one thing I had to tell you. And number two thing that I wanted to tell you guys is related to the Netflix. I'm very interested in this story respective to Stephen Smith.
I just got it. I knew you would be. You're the first person I thought of.
So, but I'm going to get down so you can play your video, because I can already tell my vibe is interrupting tonight for whatever reason. No, I feel like I feel like that's what I keep remembering shit.
But I love it.
Interrupting.
So if
your phone has battery, please
totally not. Like, we really enjoy you up here. So
I know you do.
Plug your shit in.
I know.
Plug your shit in. Stay put.
All right, I will for like 10 more minutes, and then I got to get off because I got to get to bed too. It's like 11 o'clock, and I already talked people's ear off for 2 hours. I can't even believe anybody stayed. I was annoyed with myself.
Oh, see, we like you, but you'll be good at this because you'll enjoy this. I think you will. Hang on, let me just share my screen real quick.
Okay, and I won't interrupt for a minute.
Hey,
you can. You know, MK, your girls were asking for you, homie. Okay, hold on. Let me present.
Someone do the math. 10, 11, 3 minutes, 30.
You can't. I can't do math if you don't give me the problem. You can't be just shouting out random ass numbers.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this now and not do math.
Okay.
All right. Just for the first few minutes, it was entertaining as hell.
Okay. Here we go.
Case of Beach versus Murdaugh Parker's Convenience Stores. We met for a status conference on Monday of this week. There were some pending motions that we needed to put on the record. And in fact, we had the status conference on the record as well here in open court. There's some pending motions that we needed an opportunity to have more time to deal with and schedule for today. So I think that's what brings us here today. Let me be sure, Ms. Harpoon and Mr. Griffin, we have, who do y'all represent? What is your role? Because we've had some discussion on Monday. Mr. Cook, Dawes Cook, has been hired as private counsel for Mr. Alec Murdaugh. what, particularly for the record, is y'all's role?
Yes, Your Honor. For the record, we were retained by Mr. Murdaugh individually to address in this case the receivership order and the actions brought by the receiver to disallow Mr. Murdaugh's renunciation of his interest in Maggie's estate.
So,
did you know that
before we go into commercial break there, the guy in the background is the one that's
That's what I was. What is he do? He's just back and forth, like watching tennis, and then he's kind of bebopping around a little bit.
Did you guys watch Saturday Night Live back in like the probably not
back like Eddie Murphy days?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, so there used to be. I'm gonna have to find that and show you guys because it was. I wish my husband were in here. He could tell you the guy's name. There was a guy who would do closed captioning, and it was closed captioning for the deaf, and he was screaming. Like it would be Dan Aykroyd delivering the news, and he would go like, "Today in court," and he would go, "Today in court." That's what this kid
so much you could get away with back in the day that you just cannot now.
Oh, Lord have mercy. It was
some coaches are earning over $100,000 a year by hosting one 60-minute Zoom call a week.
So that's why we made an appearance in this case. Mr. Arpuli and I also represent Mr. Murdaugh in conjunction with the pending criminal cases. And that's the extent of our role. And in that capacity, we are filing a motion on his behalf to stay the civil case. And Mr. Arpuli will be arguing that. But we do not represent him on the voting action case, on the civil case, whatsoever. And the reason we already made an appearance was to challenge the receivership. Well,
we really have no business here, but here we sit.
But Poot and Griffin are meddlers. They're like they're like Stadler and Waldorf.
They really are.
They're just everywhere making unnecessary comments and fucking shit up.
Oh my God, this is the best though. The judge.
Poot's like, what am I doing here?
Judge Hall, as far as this hearing today, this is involving what we call the vote case.
Yes.
Everything that's to be done today involves the vote case. Y'all are telling me that you do not represent Alan Murdaugh on the vote case.
We do not represent Alan Murdaugh defending the civil vote case. That's right.
What?
So the fuck are you doing here?
Because they're there because they represent fucking Paul on the criminal case. Tell the truth, you lying liar faces.
Yeah.
Help me understand what gives you the what puts you in a position to come here today to argue about a continuance on the vote case as affects your client when you do not represent him in the vote case?
Yeah.
Why are you here? You don't even go here. That's all I could hear from the judge. Sorry.
Well,
he doesn't even go here.
We represent him in the criminal case, and the vote case affects the criminal case. We made an appearance in the vote case for purposes of the receivership, and he does not have a lawyer in the vote case.
Well, as Cook indicated Monday that he's representing Mr. Murdaugh personally. Mr. Dawes Cook is representing on the vote case.
Your Honor, if I might speak.
Yes.
Ask a question. My understanding was Mr. Cook indicated he did not try this case.
And we're off. Sit down, Jim. I'm gonna have to handle this shit.
Do you know who Poot reminds me of? It's another Saturday Night Live skit. So you know when remember Jimmy Fallon used to do it, Nick Burns, your company's computer guy? Like when he stands up to take over the situation, I can almost hear him being like, move.
Oh, I just loved it because he was just like, what the fuck?
They do
additional appearance.
I mean, I'm not, as far as the argument about when we're going to try the case, we'll deal with that when we need to. I'm just, what gives you the right to speak today in the vote case?
That's right.
And put me in a position where I'm supposed to listen to determine about it.
Your Honor, from a legal standpoint, perhaps we're interveners, but we're making an appearance because the trial of this vote case will prejudice his criminal case. The criminal judge doesn't have the authority to stay the vote case.
Right.
So the only person that can do that is you, and you're the only forum we can appear in front of and ask you to not do something that will prejudice his January criminal trial.
All right, that helps. I understand.
Wait a minute.
You cleared it up.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You heard correctly.
Okay.
You heard correct.
Right. Never
I
mind.
love this. This was just
Even though we put this whole boat accident off forever and a day, we need you to put it off a little longer because we don't think our client is going to get a fair shake.
No, it's gonna be jury, what is it?
It's too prejudicial and it'll be difficult to get a fair and impartial jury and blah 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 blah.
Funny. And then
as women,
there's no real
good.
There's no real Murdaugh clause in the law. These people do realize that, right? Like it applies to everyone, but then it's like a caveat, like not to the Murdaugh. Like, no, you can't. That's what I feel like this is. It's softening everything that's going on around them, or trying to. It's just like when Morgan and Paul got in that car accident when he flipped the car. They get there first and take out all the guns and beer cans and get all that out of the way. Clean it up before. Let's soften the blow before we have to deal with law enforcement. It's the same kind of notion here. Like you're trying to soften whatever's coming next and just get rid of stuff that you could say doesn't apply, but it does.
Right. You're trying to clean up for your client.
Right. Even like clean up for something that's about to happen in the future. Like you're pre-cleaning.
Right. We're pre-cleaning before the
like
actual
they're like shout. They're the spot treatment.
Yes. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. I'm just gonna play this for a minute more. Really the funny part was the judge saying, "Why are you here?" And Poot's like, "Oh, sit down, Jim. Sit down. I'm gonna have to take you."
Sit down, Jim, because you're not even. You don't even. Do you even know why you're here, Jim? I don't even know why you're on this case.
Robbing your head.
I'll tell you why Jim is on this case, because he's being prevented from becoming a witness. That's my opinion.
Really? Do you think that's why they're all on the thing and all the attorneys?
Well, not the Poot, but Jim. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim was there.
Or that from a matter of equity, we got.
I don't have an objection going forward today. I just need in my mind to be clear about where we all stand on it. So with that, then this is a motion. The first motion we'll hear is that Mr. Harper and Ms. Griffin all filed a motion for continuance and a motion to stay discovery. I have your motion in front of me. If I'm looking down, I'm going to be following along something here.
Well, Your Honor, I'm not going to, if I please court.
Yes.
I'm not going to reread our motion. I just want to get it on my slide.
Stand up, sit down, fight.
Yeah, I was looking at the guy in the blues. The guy against the wall. He looks like a little minuet, like just this little. Like he looks. I'm just sorry.
He carries Poot's handbags. It's accoutrements.
When that guy brought Poot the pen yesterday, I'd like to have died.
Honest to God.
The way he presented it, from now on, I'm demand all my writing utensils be presented to me in that fashion. Thank you very much.
I just loved the way.
Or I'm not writing.
I love that they were just like, "Well, we're here because I was dead." I was like, "What? Why are you here? This is the boat case. You're in the wrong courtroom. You belong down the hall."
Bless it.
But that is an interesting point. I didn't even think about that, Jen Lou, because I've always wondered in terms of, I knew that Griffin was representing Paul, on the criminal case for the, in terms of the boat accident. And then I do know that they brought, by the time that Paul's picture, was taken out in the hallway of the courtroom, that quote unquote mugshot, I do believe by then they had brought Harpootlian on as well, correct?
Yes. The Poot and Griffin represented Paul in the boat in the criminal case, but Griffin
how not at all conflict of interest in any way, shape, or form.
because
2 different cases.
No, well, because they're representing the whole family, so it's
That's
not a
what my
conflict.
first guess was.
Okay.
It'd be different if they were at one point had represented one of the plaintiffs, but since they seem to be representing all the family as defendants in various cases.
The
It's
family
not
has kept them in business.
correct. And I think like with with Jim, the more I listen to this trial, I don't always catch it the first go around, but when I replay it at night, I catch it just how often Jim Griffin was around, after the boat case. Like, it's interesting because there's this argument about who was representing Paul and when they were representing him. Mm-hmm. And Paul's personal attorney is Danny Henderson.
Yes.
And he's the one who's
in the back of the car.
Right. But then Griffin starts being in the back of the car.
Gotcha.
We see less of Danny and we see more Griffin.
Gotcha.
Because Griffin is a criminal defense attorney, but they all know each other. They know each other through the solicitor's office. Alec used to drive around with his assistant solicitor's badge on his dashboard. Mm-hmm. The audacity,
Weirdo.
So they're all connected. And I sent LFT and you a little thing today that I got from the Netflix just for me to remember about who was handling the boat crash investigation and where he is now.
The DNR?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who's now with SLED, Brock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we'll have to, Jin Lou, we'll have to get with you maybe before you go live about it again. Tia, all that stuff we started putting together in terms of the boat case.
Mm-hmm.
Walk through that with Jin Lou because I think getting some insight.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a mess. They're all interwoven. They're all connected. And what's annoying to me is that law enforcement treated Alec they gave him preferential treatment to the detriment of the case. Mm-hmm. And now they haul Ball up there to talk about they left part of Paul's skull at the crime scene, and we were allowed to walk here, there, and everywhere. But what I took away from that, I got what he was trying to say, and I was rolling my eyes the whole time because it is annoying that SLED allowed that. But also, at the beginning, when he first rolled up on the scene, he's out there directing traffic and shit. Like, shouldn't we get barricades and stuff like that? Who shows up to a crime scene and starts telling the law enforcement what to do? Who even thinks that they can suggest? Like, I didn't know law enforcement came with a suggestion box when they roll up to the crime scene. But that's the level of how interwoven all of these people are on both sides of the fence. I mean, the truth of the matter is law enforcement, prosecutors, and defense attorneys all know each other. Mm-hmm. They're co-workers, for Pete's sake.
Similar treatment. The same argument could be made in terms of the immediate investigation in terms of law enforcement arriving on scene of the boating accident.
Correct.
Because, I mean, it's that same kind of thing, that same pattern or theme. That's exactly what happened there as well. I mean, it was
exactly. Exactly. And that, so it's sad it's sad. But
yeah,
Maggie and Paul deserve justice, regardless of. At the end of the day, they were never charged except for Paul, and he didn't get convicted. And his sentence would have been, I think, the most 30 years, which is a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was only 20. At the minimum, 15, I think.
I heard 25, but right, yes.
Right, somewhere in there, 25, somewhere in there. But bottom line is, not death. He wasn't up for capital punishment. It wasn't he wasn't charged in a capital offense. So, and that's just, it is what it is. And I get annoyed when they but then they brought the lawyers in, but it totally backfired, because then the prosecution is asking about like the financial stuff, and you could tell that Ball was angry with Alec. And I really I really hope that there's equal coverage on his financial trial as there is on this criminal trial, or on the murder trial. They're both criminal, because I want to know what the firm knew and when they knew it.
I do too.
Because I find it very, very interesting that it's such a conundrum for these lawyers to be getting up here and testifying, because they have been deposed in the criminal case against Alec. And so that if they don't testify the same as the deposition, it's when it goes to trial, they're going to bring it out. They're going to say, well, you said this in deposition, you testified to this at Alec's criminal trial, and now you're saying this. And I just don't understand how the firm wasn't held legally responsible on some level, because this went back years. It wasn't one or two clients.
That's what scared. Like, I hate it. Actually, I kind of hate it, because I love seeing Jeannie take the stand. Like, I'm a huge fan, and then I'm like, oh my God, though. But coming forward with all this opens you all up, because, and like Chris Wilson is another one. I have to take like the emotion out of it, I guess. But like when you hear him testify and the stuff, like I didn't realize. But at the same time, how did you not realize what was going on? Like
Paul said something similar to that today when he testified, which I found to be interesting.
What did he have to say?
He said they were talking about the deposit and the email, and him saying that, I have the funds. And Ball said, what did he say? Shit, I have to go back and listen to it, because it's similar. It's along the lines of what you're saying. Either he, how could he not? Either he was part of it, or he, you know what I mean? How could he not know?
How could he not know?
Because he would have been on the almost like he did. His intimation was that he did know, and that's why he had to scramble to put those funds back in, because now they were being asked about.
That's why he was so willing to put like his own $192,000 of his own dollars in it.
Well, he didn't mention that part of it, but yeah, I guess that would make sense.
And see, I hate that, because I look at those and I'm like, God, I hate this for them. But then I'm like, oh my God, this attorney now has an attorney, because he's got to fight the fund.
But I'll say this: they did a pretty thorough forensic examination, and he's not up on any charges. So either they needed his testimony more than whatever small part he played, or in the overall scheme of things. I think that for Alec, this criminal investigation with the finances and stealing from clients is the tip of the iceberg. I would not be surprised if there aren't more serious charges related to the pills.
You think they're going to dive into it, do you?
I think that now that the scope is public knowledge, and how much he was spending, and what, that's a lot of money. I think I saw it somewhere, and I don't remember where it was, but the amount of money that Alec was spending on pills would last him 117 years. There's no way that was for personal use. There's no effing way. No way.
Did you watch the Netflix thing yet?
I'm on episode like 2.5.
Okay. So that's kind of where I am. I just finished 2, but I didn't actually watch all of it. I want to get to the plane. The plane. I want to talk about the plane.
Well, I did. Yeah, that's interesting too. I did stumble on another channel that was mentioned in another chat, with respect to like, he's apparently, well, this is what they were saying, that he's done all this like super sleuthing or whatnot and has a bunch of interviews and everything with respect to the other cases like Stephen Smith. There's some allegations about potentially Stephen advertising on Craigslist or being an escort of some sort. And I don't know that I listened to his episode, and I have to say that he based some of it on an interview that Stephen's sister gave to the Highway Patrol.
Yes.
And the answers that she gave, but I don't necessarily have the same takeaway, because she never actually came out and said, yes, that's what Stephen did. What she said was, when he asked her about, she said he put himself out there, and he said, well, you understand I'm talking about, meeting people for money as well. And all she did was say, She didn't say he did that. I think she took it as that she understood the question he was asking, not that she was saying that that's what he did. Do you know what I mean?
The same video. Yeah. I think we watched the
well, of
same
course
video.
I had to go check it out. It was mentioned. So of course here I go, like, and so I listened to it, and some of the takeaways, I don't quite agree with his interpretation of some of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he relies a lot on this guy that came forward saying that he's the boyfriend, except for Sandy and Stephanie both said they don't think that that Stephen was with him.
Did anyone else hear that Stephen Smith case was reopened because of some evidence found during the search of Moselle? I actually haven't heard it. Why? I haven't heard why they reopened.
All they've ever said officially is that some evidence uncovered during Paul and Maggie's murder investigation caused them to reopen his case.
Okay.
They've never said what it was. They've never said, where they found it, when they found it, or any of that stuff.
I didn't believe that they did, but someone just said that, so I was curious. I thought maybe I missed something.
I knew it was just something. I heard, like Jin Liu did, that it's that it was something they found while investigating the current case prompted them to look into. They found something that prompted them to reopen or to look back into Stephen Smith. And I'm not going to lie, I bet that could almost apply to Gloria Satterfield in some way too. But that's me speculating on based on what, like, if that ball, I think once again another ball is rolling right now, and it's going to be a hard one to stop.
It's too public now. It's made headlines. Law and Crime has a crazy amount of people in chat, almost as much as they had with the Depp trial. Almost.
Oh wow!
People are watching it, and so I think I think it's going to be a snowball. And remember, Alec isn't done yet. He's not just got the financial, he's up on those conspiracy charges. So
manufacturing, distribution, all that stuff. I mean, he's got.
And I'll tell you what, the thing is, and I understand why the prosecution is pushing forward with the financial cases and not worried so much about potential murder cases, because there's no statute of limitations on murder. They can take their time.
Oh, and the Rockaways, I don't think that he did either, flat out. But I think I think there is more to look in terms of Alex, what Alex was doing around that time financially. We know that at minimum, he scammed them out of a lot of money by what he did after Gloria.
You know what else I found interesting that Ball testified to today? That after they fired Paul, or Alec, he resigned or whatever, but it's like a no option. So whatever, you're still fired. Anywho, he was in his office over that weekend.
Okay.
And, he was fired in September, right?
Yeah, he was fired in September, and over Labor Day weekend, he was in Paul's in Alec's office, and he found like checks.
Really?
That Alec had deposited through, you know how you can take a picture of a check with your phone?
Mobile deposit.
And that's how he had done it.
Wasn't Alex on the Gloria? No, that was Paul. That was
Paul. And I learned something interesting with respect to Paul. A lot of people have been surmising that maybe Paul had something to do with Gloria's death, but I was very moved by what Anthony Cook said. He said no way. He said no way. Paul loved her.
That was, I just was talking about that, I think right before you came in.
Oh, okay.
I said that I had a different, that turned me. It turned me. He didn't have pictures in his wallet, but he had a picture of Gloria.
Yes. And that was
his mom.
And that Gloria had found pill bags taped to a bed or something up underneath the bed, remember?
Yeah.
Was it Paul's bed or Alex's bed?
Alex's bed, and Gloria told Paul, and the supposition is that Gloria was worried about losing her job.
I thought I'd heard that. I thought one of the HBO ones, didn't it say that the rumor in town, quote unquote, was that Gloria had found his pills and had threatened, quote unquote, to tell his daddy.
Yes, but it was against Paul, not against Alec. That I know exactly what part in Low Country you're talking about, but they're talking about Paul, not Alec. And you know what else I found interesting is all that partying that they have Paul doing after the boat crash, and all that. But then when they got his toxicology results back, he was clean, nothing. And then there's that cooler with all the beers.
Yep. Oh,
that Ball found in the hangar, and he took a picture of a truck that had bleach in it in the back of in the bed of the truck. No reason, just thought it looked sus. Well, what were you doing out there the next day, sir?
Yes. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I'm looking for the sheet of paper. If I can't find it in 2 seconds, I'm gonna have to save it for the next time, because that just prompted me. Oh shoot, I had a question about something.
So many rabbit holes. They're all it's like a big web. It's like a huge spider web.
Rockaways, I think that's just his dialect. I don't think he was slurring. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think that was just Paul's dialect. I think he was bent over and doing things. He
had a hold of Grady's or Cash's tail.
I didn't
when
think
he said it. Is a chicken.
Is a chicken.
I literally thought
is a chicken.
I didn't think twice about it, because I was like, it literally sounds like any person around here that I would talk to or hear on a video. But it was interesting to see more video of Paul, though, that they had in that Netflix one. I did appreciate that, to see the two sides, like how, and just that.
Morgan's story to me is I guess Morgan and Anthony are the ones that are just soul crushing to me. Just absolutely.
Well, Connor too.
Oh God, yes.
Connor's crushing to me, and I really thought, when, bless her heart, when Miley told him to sit up straight. I didn't realize they were still together, but that's cute that they are.
I didn't know they were either. I wondered that they are still together.
It looked like they are, because
entwined.
They were pretty. She was sitting really close to him. They were pretty entwined, and she told him to sit up straight, and he did it.
It was adorable.
It is adorable. It's a level of, you know how women, how we do. Sometimes we have to, and he said, I don't want, we ain't going to talk about that.
Yes.
And I thought that was going to be that. I thought they're not going to get another peep out of Connor, but I was surprised.
I was too. And I was glad.
And I will say this, I was moved by a few things that Ball said, and then I really did get off. But the thing I was most moved about with Ball's testimony is when he talked about Paul. And he said that at the core, basically, Paul was a good person. He did some devilish things, but he hadn't figured out his potential yet. And I thought, and he just remarked about what a waste it was for Paul to be murdered the way he was, because I think, and I do think there's some truth to that. I think that, I think Paul had demons for sure. And we will never probably know all of it.
I think it was tough to be a Murdaugh, and he probably, while it had its pluses, living up to Daddy's expectation had to be tough. You know.
And I think that when I started,
Dad was all that great, but I'm just saying,
when I started mathing it out and realizing when Timmy first appeared and when Paul really started drinking, it was after Gloria. I don't think he ever properly grieved for her, and he didn't have anybody, his parents, to guide him, really, unfortunately. I mean, Jesus, he called them the night of the boat crash, and they didn't answer. Well, Maggie did eventually. Maggie did.
But we didn't want to put her out too much. She might have been getting another petty or something. Don't, you know.
I don't know who offers petties at 3:00 in the morning. I'd like to know.
I don't know. Her Zanny just kicked in. I got nothing.
Maybe she was with Maybe she was sleeping with Anbrel Ambien. You know, that sometimes it bees like that. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that it seems to me that Gloria was the closest, was a mother figure to him, and I don't think he grieved properly and didn't learn proper coping mechanisms. And the truth of the matter is, people who do anything to excess, drinking, you know, illicit drugs or prescription medications, the truth of the matter is they're doing it because at the core something is very, very wrong. And they're trying to medicate.
I agree. And I agree 1,000%. One of the things I had an issue with, and this is a personal issue for me because I just went through this. It was notable to me that after the accident, Paul moved into the cabin, you know, with friends, but essentially he had his own place.
Right.
The kid was really young, and I'm not saying that he wasn't capable. I'm not saying he wasn't, but his life has just been turned upside down with a number of different things, with loss. Some he's caused, some he's just, you know, he's lost good people in his life. And we're going to shove him down in the cabin with a bunch of friends and some beer. That just sounds like better out of sight, out of mind to me.
The last thing he needed to be was left unattended. If anything, he needed to be, in my opinion, reined in more. And I know it's tough. I have adult kids, and I know how it can be. But you'd be amazed at how much control you have of even an adult child when you control the money.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Well, I will never forget when I had kids, and I was learning to be a mom. My grandmother saying to me, find out what their currency is. When you find out what their currency is, and sometimes currency is a stuffed animal, and sometimes it's money. You know, as you get older, it changes. But you find out what that currency is, and that's your control.
Exactly. And it's not like look, and I don't want to be too judgy about their parenting, okay? Because it's not like kids come with a manual. You know, I mean, Jesus, even gremlins come with a warning label. There was like 3 rules, you know, but kids, they just hand them off to you, and you're just like, you have to take this little person and make them into a functioning member of society. It's a learning curve for the child and for the parent. And sometimes, unfortunately, it takes something big for a parent to realize, oh shit, my kid's out of control. Because they don't see it. It's hard when you look at your child and you remember them being that sweet, you know, little kid that thought you hung the moon. You know, like I distinctly remember waking up one day and I had 3 teenagers, and I went from being the smartest woman alive to the dumbest woman alive in like 24 hours. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
I do.
Nobody really prepares you for that, because they say it's going to happen, but then sometimes it happens later with one and earlier with another. They don't come with manuals. But
yes.
Anyway.
I remember asking at the hospital, where's the directions? And the nurse just said, this end up, and sent me on my way. And I was like, okay, all right. That's all, I need a license to drive, but you just told me this end up on my kid. Okay, cool. All right.
I thought it was really interesting that Morgan, I just wanted to point it out before y'all go, that Morgan, even in that, in the Netflix talk, because I'm trying to, it's really interesting right now to watch the patterns of behavior within this family, or how they deal with an event, for lack of a better word. That yet again, the first person he calls is granddad. So he calls Randolph at the time of the car accident when he and Morgan, get in the car accident, and then everyone comes. He calls Randolph at the boat accident.
Because Randolph was the fixer.
I don't even want to know how many more times he called Randolph, not so much in terms of big things like flipping the car or the boat accident, but I'll put dollars to donuts. So there are at least 1 or 2 calls before June 7th of 2021 where he reached out to his grandfather. And
I think we all need to go watch Netflix tonight. That's what I'm going to say. Like, we'll be quizzed. I think we need to watch Netflix.
We were going to do, what days are Mallory Beach? We're doing it tomorrow, right?
It was tomorrow, but I moved it to Thursday because Truth Teller is doing her live on Murdaugh tomorrow.
Yes, I forgot about. Oh shit! I forgot to tell my channel too. Damn it! I forgot about that. I'm going. I'm going up on the panel with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone. Yeah. Tomorrow night, be sure to check out. Yes, Truth Teller tomorrow night, and then Jen Lou and we'll all be there and chat. Like everyone, please go and watch that. And then I think Friday night we decided to focus again on the on Mallory Beach and the ties to the Murdaugh. Just to do it on the anniversary, because this happened, y'all, tomorrow. February 23rd is when they went to the oyster roast, left, that evening, and then by 2 a.m. on the 24th, the accident had happened, or by 3 a.m. Let's say by 3 a.m. on the 24th, we had a much different situation on our hands, and we just thought that would be a great thing, to kind of a way to acknowledge it and to keep talking about this Murdaugh stuff and how they affected another family as well.
You know what I wonder?
What?
I wonder why Mallory and Miley and Connor decided to talk now, because Anthony's been talking, but we have never heard from the other 3.
I think because of lawsuits, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That's actually
that makes sense.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I apologize. I just thought about that though, based on those are the ones, especially Morgan and Miley, especially that do have settlement, like have a settlement coming to them. Like they are. Maybe
that makes sense. Why. You didn't cut me off, but no, you answered my question. You didn't cut me off. That makes sense. Why they would be free to talk now.
Crime sleuth, then it would be Tia.
Jeez. Thank you.
I didn't. Nobody warned me that Tinsley would be featured so prominently in this thing either.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I have to hit play on episode 2. I haven't seen it, y'all. But everyone's.
I'm not gonna lie. I like Tinsley in this one. I don't
have a problem with. I just wish he wouldn't. I only ever had a problem with his testimony in front of the jury. The showboating and shit was like too much for me.
I agree.
That's all.
But in this, I actually liked him because he explained things to me that I was like, all right, I got you. Listen, you guys, we got to put Jen Lou to bed before she.
I know. Can you hear me yawning?
No,
I'm so tired.
Thank you for coming up. I really
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I'll be in the chat.
Awesome.
And if anyone missed her, Jen Lou was live earlier this evening. Please go back. If anyone missed it, myself included, we need to go back and watch it and be sure to thumbs it up, give it a view.
Oh, thank you.
I'm
And
gonna
thumbs
put
up
it
to the
in
stream
the
while you're here
comments.
too. Give the girls a thumbs up because they're working hard too.
We're trying. We're learning as we go.
All right, I'm gonna go. Bye, you guys.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Thanks. You
We'll
You
talk
too.
to you during trial tomorrow.
Okie dokie. Bye.
Bye.
Sounds good. And DA, yes, that too.
I don't know why Jen Lou's not coming. I guess our night bot's not working very well right now.
I got it.
Weird. Sorry. Thank you.
I got it. I've got my list.
Thank goodness.
But wait, that's so funny because I am so glad Crime Sleuth mentioned that because I said that. What did I say to you last night? And then a little while later, you're like, actually, I kind of like that. What did you say?
Oh, I said she was working on big things like, research and stuff. And I was worried about putting a cartoon hat on Alec Murdaugh.
You had said something and I was like, the SS Murdaugh leaves a mighty big wake. You're like, actually, let's use that. I was like, all right. And then the next thing I look at it, there's a captain's hat on his head and the thumbnail's posted.
I haven't heard that he's actually testifying, so I'm not sure who the creator is, or I mean, I don't want to say it's clickbait because I don't know, but I personally have not heard that Alec is yet testifying. I would think if he was going to, they were going to do that later.
I feel like he's kind of, I go back and forth. He's either like biting at the chomp to do it, to like plead his case, or he's like,
I wanted to ask you. Sorry, go ahead, finish.
No,
just write down my question. I am bad tonight. What do you, okay, so I had this thought today as I watched, because I was actually watching the last 5 minutes to see that court was adjourned until tomorrow. But so he packs up all his shit and he heads back to court, or he packs up all his shit and he heads back to jail. Like, what does his night look like? Like beans and toast and going over the case? Like, is he allowed to take his case stuff in the jail? Does he just sit up all night? Like, what does he do? I'm curious.
Well,
He
eats snacks at the table during the day, and I think I just got everyone we just mentioned right.
Yeah.
To make sure that we had. Okay.
Truth Teller is going live tomorrow night with Jen Lou. We'll say featuring Jen Lou, and they're talking Murdaugh tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. And I always forget to write Eastern Standard because it's 9 Central. So sorry for that. For those it's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that stream. Yes, he's allowed to do that. He's probably in the jailhouse tablet. Bringing in the heat. Bringing in that Miami heat. That poor girl. I feel so bad
He's
for
probably
her.
looking up restaurant recommendations for later. He's like, I mean, if I'm free in 2024, let's see what's available.
Jail Dash? Can we get Jail Dash? Can we
Jail Dash?
Yeah, let's send him some pizza.
Think so. I think that's why they have like their whole, commissary thing. Like I don't think they dash. I think they do a different kind of dash in jail.
I got a dash for him. I got a dash right here for him.
But what else was there?
I don't think a lot. I mean, I didn't watch today, so I feel like Jail Dash. I feel like I might be onto something.
It sounds like a lawsuit. It sounds like a lawsuit is what it sounds like to me.
Listen, check out the last name. We're gonna fix it.
But I don't remember bail money. Forget your last name. Just remember, do we have enough bail money? Think it through.
Oh, I thought it through. I got judges for days. I'm good.
All right, then it's like, all right, LFT. You want to get involved?
It depends. It does. Well, I was gonna say, I got to figure out which state though, because we got to talk states. State of confusion is where I'm normally. So anyway, what else do we have? Anything?
Well, we got Okay, trial resumes tomorrow.
Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill. Our live Friday, and then we'll do a post to see if we can maybe orchestrate some kind of watch party at some point, just if anyone wants to join and watch things together.
Saturday maybe. Yeah, that would be good if we could try and do that. That's a great idea.
On a legal, legit platform that allows us to watch with you all if that's not.
So they don't copyright us? Yeah.
We want to do it the right way. We definitely want to do it the right way.
Jerks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Crime Sleuth, and thank you for coming up and asking questions and offering what you know. I appreciate that. How can you physically take 5,000 worth of pills a day? It's like a pill every 4 minutes or something. It really is. It really is.
They said it would take the number that I forgot the number per day, but it would take him an hour to take them if he took them all in one sitting. But then someone tried to make the point is he spending that much because he's paying for the real stuff? He doesn't want to run the risk of having, you know.
But again, the amount that he has, you cannot tell me.
You can't just. If you then I want to know. It should be like picking up Easter eggs when they were searching Moselle. Then, if they were looking for
it, had to be. DEA had to be like, can we just pull up the dump truck? I don't. I don't know. Crime Sleuth says, send a cake with a blade, and it's your loved one for $59.99. Fast delivery guaranteed by 4 a.m. if you order by 2:45. That's amazing. So yeah, we're gonna probably. Thanks, Crime Sleuth. We're probably going to talk more about the Netflix stuff. We're still, and that because that works into the Mallory Beach area. Good gravy. Of this case, and my heart is there, but we're also working on Gloria Satterfield, and we're learning things about that too, and we're going to be announcing some really cool things with that. But we need to get, actually, let me correct myself. I need to learn about this lovely lady Gloria, because I don't know anything, but said partner over here probably knows her social security number and everything else. I could barely pull her out of a lineup, so I need to get my shit together and research so I know who this woman is. MK, you're amazing. Thank you, sir. The ladies were asking about you, like, where's our MK? So thank you for being here. And to our mods, we love you the most. You're amazing. Every single one, whether you were here or not. We love you. Gloria was so beloved. She sounds like a hell of a great lady. And I now have a different idea of who Paul was and who Maggie was. And I think some of the things they're putting out, I don't know. I have a different idea.
But I don't know. There's a lot to look into, and it just not so much that person X, Y, or Z who was on Moselle the day that Gloria felt that they did something like necessarily intentionally. That's not why we're looking into it. It is the complexity and what happened after she fell.
Yes.
And was that trend already happening before Gloria fell? Like with, in terms of other cases, or Alex trying to, skim a little money off the top kind of deal. I think it's an important thing to understand more about regardless.
Thank you so much for all your time. Thank you for being here. Is it Demiety? Philly girl. Could there be any relation to Jackpot as far as the pills go? AM has Moselle now and owns properties on the waterways. Funny you brought that up. Oh my God. Maybe, because we're doing a lot of research on some of the properties that are owned, and we're realizing who owned. Hang on, you guys. I'm sorry. Grabbing the dog. Who owned those properties on, and around Alec Murdaugh. I think it's very interesting.
There is. Yes. I just agree with that. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't think my brain's working. What I was trying to say is I agree. I'm glad.
Fine.
I'm glad Philly Girl asked that, and I agree with what you said, that it is kind of interesting when you start looking at it, at who was involved with some property development areas at the same time. Do any of those names come up later?
Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that. And I love that it's Latin for forgive us. I really love that. That's actually quite beautiful. How many properties did Maggie own? Well, in one county, 8. In another county, more than 8. We're still going through them.
So
in Colleton, I want to say Colleton County, but I think is it Colleton County? I don't know how to say that.
Forgive me. I say it so fast. It's just like Colleton County.
She owned 8, right? And then it was at Hampton. She owned more.
I think it's 8 and 8. I thought we were at 16 so far.
That's what I thought too, but we need to double check the number. But yes, she owned a lot. You live in Low Country, and okay. You do chatter about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Chatter away, sister. Fill us in. What's going on in Low Country? All of LawTube. Well, let's see what this one is. Said he is not. So I agree. There is a lot of there's a lot of reasonable doubt.
Philly Girl, I would love to hear the kind of chatter. I think I'm Low Country-ish on the North Carolina side of it, but I would be interested to hear if we hear the same kind of.
Yeah, you're always welcome. Leave comments, tell us, email us. Let me throw my email. Pure.
What day is it? Is it tonight's Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, only for 3 more minutes.
Okay.
That Comer. For podcast. Okay.
Okay. Philly Girl said then Beaufort, NC.
Beaufort?
No, she's Beaufort.
That's what I said. Low Country being abused. Okay. Interesting. Well, we're doing. I personally think he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That's You don't. You know what? That's where reasonable doubt comes in, and that's where the defense is making all their money right now, putting in this reasonable doubt that it was a hit. I have a lot of thoughts on that, and I don't have any research to back anything up other than my thoughts. I was gonna go back to Philly Girl and just say that we are so invested in the Mallory Beach boating accident.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be working on it for just a little bit longer, but we're going to incorporate Gloria Satterfield into it as well. I mean, Jen Lou has the trial covered, and she can explain things so well. Kate does crime, criminality. They all have their own personal niche in this case, and I think ours is Mallory Beach and Gloria Satterfield. We just.
Mm-hmm.
Jen Lou also has Stephen Smith. We want to make sure if you're looking for information on Stephen Smith, please check out her channel for that as well. But we're trying to really deep dive, and please don't misunderstand us when we say go watch Netflix. That's not where our research is coming from. We actually do research.
But I think it's nice to actually sit down and watch stuff about it, but then go dig even more.
I agree. Research is my favorite thing to do with you.
Good. Thank you for subbing, Kara.
Oh, I just subbed because I like the fact that okay. I didn't mean you did it. No. I think he was gonna hold on. I'm reading her comment. I knew it was gonna happen. He wanted Maggie to go with him, and his parents called and asked him to do. This is interesting.
I was gonna say I was gonna ask you. say not so much he pulled the trigger kind of deal, but I think he was aware of something. I don't think he's without guilt here. But that's just me. But I'm not, like I said, I'm open to that too, because I do go back and forth saying, like, even if it was him and one other person, I don't know if I feel like he just knew. He just knew. And why lie? Why lie?
Well, thanks for subbing to us, because we appreciate all opinions here and we like to talk them through, because you never know. You could have a piece of information that we don't have, or we might be able to educate you on something we have. So, okay. The housekeeper, yes. Little Tube says all the things they think he either saw it or knew it was coming. See? Interesting. Kara, keep coming back. You're giving us food for thought. I can't say you're going to change my mind, but I definitely say your opinion matters and I want to think about it.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
We're shooting ourselves in our own foot by not hearing all sides and looking into. There's not just one way of thinking about this.
Let's see. Rockaways. The Rockaways. Nobody has been able to explain how Alex benefited from the deaths, and that's why I think a loan shark or drug dealer is sending him a message about not paying up. I think that is a very strong possibility. I have a different angle, but I don't
poo-poo that.
I poo-poo nothing. Because, I mean, it's certainly a very strong possibility. I will say that Paul, for Alec, was making things messy. And like I said before, remember who Paul calls when he's in trouble. He doesn't call his dad or his mom. He calls his grandfather. So Paul was making things very messy. Buster was the shining apple of Daddy's eye. Maggie was doing her own thing and really didn't.
No, she was kind of a headache too, though. She was posing some hurdles.
She was, but he needed signatures on things, and she wasn't going to give that shit up. You know that. She wasn't going to give that up. So, I mean, my opinion differs, but I'm also like still watching and waiting. It is a huge message, and what a horrible one. And
I just don't see someone coming in and not using their own equipment. And if it is something like that, that's so pre-planned and a hit for lack of a, well, I guess that's a hit, that someone so powerful has, or like, you know, they're that dangerous and whatnot. They come in but yet they need to use the stuff that y'all have on the property. But I'm not saying that isn't a possibility. I just, the weapons used confuse me. And I also kind of differ because I do see how Alex benefited. And I do think he benefited.
If Paul's a problem, send him to Costa Rica. You know why? Because Murdaughs don't have that far of a reach.
And he couldn't because they still had to go to court.
Yeah, he couldn't leave the county. Motive doesn't make sense. Why would he kill his wife and kid? For what reason? I don't know that we've established a good motive that I can get solidly behind, to be fair. I don't, and I'm stating this because I'm not, like I said, I've only been on this for a short period of time. But I don't know that we've established a good motive for killing your wife and your son. Good evening, love.
The truth is there is no good reason. But this, at the same time, I think the reality was that Alec was involved in dalliances and behaviors that were very costly. He started he created like that snowball effect. It's like Bernie Madoff. Like you can only cover your nut for so long, because if you don't have the funds, and or if something goes awry on one side, you've got to skim now from over on this side to cover for that part that you're missing here. And this kept going and going and going. And by the time that this court case is coming up, and the potential of his finances having to be analyzed and eventually brought even further into light as the case would proceed, that's problematic, because that unleashes the veil on years of illegal, fraudulent behavior. Years. Like this goes, it literally, if I had the yarn chart to draw it out, it's unreal how quickly it overlaps. And I'm not saying, it's not like, you're right, he did not get like an immediate payment because they died or something. No, what he got was a little bit of time to kind of keep figuring this shit out. What he got was the boat case basically goes away. He still has to deal with the civil side, the criminal stuff. Boom, that's dropped. And the rest of it would have been dropped, but people were on to him and realized that he still had money. Like he wasn't being truthful even after they were killed, which is horrible. And so, and I would have agreed with you even more that he didn't have motive, or that he wouldn't do that, because that it is a ridiculous thing to consider that this man would harm his child and his wife because of needing to buy time. But he's running out of time. And the fact that he turns around and does it again on September 4th so easily in the picture, like look how the 911 call, he wanted everyone to believe something totally different. It's the same.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about with the Rockaways comment right here. And I thought, now we may differ on opinions, the Rockaways, but this one I get behind you 1,000% on. 8,000%. The only motive for Alex I can think of would be destroying his family legacy on his own terms.
Yes.
He just didn't finish the job. And yes.
And
there was another comment that I wanted to highlight too. Is there a good reason? No, never, ever, ever, ever.
There's never. And actually I agree with you and Rockaways on that comment, because I do, but Rockaways, that was this whole thing, is that he was trying to hide, like he's got to preserve that name, and he's got to not let people know about all these fraudulent activities and deals he's made and clients he's just like, this goes so far back, and that's going to tarnish the name. So he's got to buy time to get it in order, because he didn't have the money he thought he would have at the time. Things weren't in order by the time June 10th came up. And it certainly didn't help that, he's confronted about checks dealing with a client the day of June 7th. Like the heat is on. And you buy a little time, he gets the sympathy, the support. Look how SLED treated him. Look at how everyone did. I just I feel like I get passionate about it. But I agree that the motive is it's abstract, that I understand that it's hard for people to realize. Like when you say he did it to buy time, like first of all, that's a piss poor excuse to do anything of the sort. That should never be done. But it definitely sounds like just the weakest argument ever. And I don't think it's a weak argument in this case when I think that's why the state had trouble and why it is hard, because it's not an immediate tangible thing. This is bigger and more abstract than just what happened on June 7th. And until people can understand that.
He's a terrible criminal. He's a terrible human.
I'm rambling. He's a bad criminal.
No, you're not.
Agree with that.
No, you're not rambling. You're making a ton of sense. You really are. And I agree with everything you're saying. I don't always agree with you, but I do agree with you right now. I think you're making a ton of sense. He has never shown anger towards what happened to Maggie and Paul. I've seen just crying for pity.
That's it, right? And see, that's the other thing. If you were, and then if it was something, y'all, if this did have to do with some other drug scheme, I mean, if he's involved with something else and he's fearful of it, and he knows, or it's that big, it took out his family, members of his family. You're still too chicken shit of a man to sit there and not even like cough up an ounce of like, to make a deal, to be like, okay, y'all, I'm involved with, I mean, this cartel over here, I'm scared to death. This is what's happened. No, you're still willing to say, I don't know who did it.
Like, but this is what's interesting is like now we are talking about the drug stuff, and I am interested to see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested to see what is he covering up there? What is he afraid of? State is not effective. Agreed. 50K a week. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, there's a plane that's being used, and I haven't gotten to that portion of it yet, but I want to know why, what's the use, all the things, because.
Yes. And Rockaways, thank you. I like that. I agree. I wish the state had framed it, his motivation like that. Like, because I do think, I get it. It's not tangible. It's not immediate. It's not instantaneous. It's not a life insurance check that he's getting out of this. He's got to get the life insurance another way, but he's got to buy time to get that life insurance check because he needs that money. So not taking out someone else, but that's, you know what I mean, in terms of, that money that he needed, it's a hit. I really think. See, now I'm going to have to look more.
I want to know who you think ordered it. Don't say anything, LFT. Who ordered the hit, though? That's where I'm curious. I want to know what people think. If it's a hit, big if, for entertainment purposes only, allegedly, all the things, the cartel. Okay. All right. Because you think he had that much money and power. Because I mean, to me, and I know very little about the cartel, and I'd like to keep it that way. But I will say that money does not seem to be an issue for them. And the things that they do don't seem to be fazed by some of the things that happen. I don't think they're bad shots. I don't think they leave a lot of evidence. I think they're pretty clean. I don't think that someone in chat just said a few minutes ago, I don't think that they use their own guns messy. I don't, there's too many loose strings for me for the cartel to be involved.
And just there's no evidence of it at the crime scene. Like the lack of evidence against Alec is the same lack of evidence against pointing to another potential suspect. It's not necessarily there, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. You think Cousin Eddie was in the cartel? You think that the cartel would trust Cousin Eddie, huh? I mean, maybe. Listen, I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about the cartel, and I'm actually kind of good. I'm good with the gentlemen. Stay over there. I'll be over here. I don't need to know anything about your business. It did seem too personal. It was too close. The hitmen always come locked and loaded and used right. I mean, also, they come quietly. Hitmen come quietly. They don't make a lot of noise. Did anyone ever see Goodfellas? Do you remember the line in Goodfellas? I mean, I'm just quoting some fun movies because I love Goodfellas. But, he knew, Henry knew he wasn't getting whacked because it was too much noise. The cops make too much noise. When they whack you in the mafia, it's dead silent. They just do it and you're done. You don't, it's quick. It might be messy, but it's quick. Goodfellas is Goodfellas. I love all those movies. The Godfathers, all of them, my favorites. Well, maybe not 3 so much, but 2 for shizzle. Can you guys on panel, fill in the missing time between 8:44 Snapchat video, catch the dog. The first shot's fired around 8:50. So that's actually not a Snapchat video. That's a video that Paul took to send to Rogan. Catch the dog, and the first shot's fired around 8:50. What happened in those 6 minutes? LFT, do you want to show them the timeline? What do we?
Hold on. Well, yeah, even better. Let me get.
She's stretching. She's gonna pull something.
No, shut up. I just was looking.
No, it's not mob. It's cartel. Everyone.
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Right, but what are they? Pardon me. I think.
All right, digital.
Okay, I mean, maybe it is. I see. I don't know enough about them to say either way. I'm sorry, but the kennel video, lying about that and deleting the info on his phone doesn't sound like. I agree. I agree.
That's fair. I think I have to say, Vinny Politan, one of his things that I heard, he did the way he phrased it. It just made so much sense because I kept being like, "Why lie? Like, why lie? You were adamant that you're not there." And even when you're confronted in that last interview, he's like, "What? No, that unless my timeline's off," is how he phrased it. Like I just.
The evidence today showed he wasn't there.
Okay. I think I saw that. Was that with the backlight, the lighting stuff about Maggie's phone? When they had it up on the screen and they had it like saying at this hour he's doing this and her phone lights up or whatnot. I think
face recognition. Can you fill it? Can you answer the Ruckways question, or do you want me to pull?
I mean, I've got my spreadsheet up, but
do you want to show it?
So, I mean, we're showing it just regular way. Okay. All good.
Tell me when. The steps in the time log are circumstantial evidence. That is not hard facts. We're leading. I mean, we're the gunhead steps. That's more of the first. We'll show the reaction to the trend. Now that was funny.
None of it. How do you know when the first shot's fired? You got to ask whoever was at the scene. Like I don't think any of us will ever truly. I don't think we'll have an exact moment that trigger was pulled. I don't know. There's no way to. Unless they found like, oh my gosh, this bullet is still hot. Like, I don't.
I mean, we don't know because the working theory is, and again, allegedly for entertainment purposes, whatever.
Let me
grab
one thing off the table.
Okay, is that he did this, left, and came back. Him throwing out Maggie's phone and clothes being different on him bringing up the boat accident, Amelia. I mean, his behavior is so freaking sketchy, right? Yeah. Okay, Kara, thank you for bringing that up. And let me tell you about phones tracking each steps of the person, because in the Watts case, we deep dive that shit like nobody's business, because that was a source of contention for many people. Phones only track the steps when you're carrying the phone. If you put your phone down, it's not tracking anything anymore. Okay, that's number one. Keep that in mind. Secondly, the health app on your phone is not 100% accurate. Now, if he had a like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch on, maybe we could go with that. But if we're going solely by the phone, I can't. Too much. I can bring up reasonable doubt on that one.
I'm not sure I understand. Is there something else I can help with?
Do you hear? The bitch just shows up when no one's speaking to you. Why is it on live? She doesn't talk to me all day. I get on live and she's got.
I don't know. I like it. I like it that she responds to me though when I'm on the phone for you.
Yeah. No one's talking to you. Pipe down.
Watch this. Watch. Hey Siri.
Oh no, you're on my ears. You can't. Oh, my phone just went off.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, told y'all. See the last time I did it. Oh, now mine's going off too. Okay, but I have mine set as the Australian.
She
accent.
just said it's okay. It's no big deal that you don't know. Siri, listen, lady. I know a lot. I read a lot.
Okay.
Pipe down.
Here we go.
The phone steps don't match. They are being carried by one person. It's essentially a digital alibi, the way I read it.
Okay, here we go. Oh wait,
there was no health app. Okay, see, I have to. No, it's not plausible, is what they were proving. There's no health app. Your phone still. Okay, so you have your locations. I'm trying here because the phone shit with the steps. I almost want to release the Watts information we have on that. I really do, because we got so deep and dirty with the phone and the walking.
At MK's comment. I think MK's comment sums it up.
That shit was a broken Fitbit. That shit was broke. Ask Siri who killed. I wonder what she'd say.
Oh my gosh, I went right. Okay, wait. And just for the record, I've got our spreadsheet up and the full report in the notebook up. I've got it turned to page 44. So we're at 8:38:07. Let me make sure. Hold on. Okay, got it.
No one can drive or run that fast to do a timeline down the road almost 2 miles away to dump the phone. And yet, here we are.
Okay, wait, hold on. What
and
time?
He's accused of this.
8:30. I need 8:30:13. Who knows what happened at 8:30:13?
I'm trying to read.
All right,
8:30:13 message read on Paul Murdaugh's
phone. Okay, then what time was the haha kidding outgoing message?
There's X's there between 8:30:19 and 8:30:23.
I'm looking. It's on here.
Okay. 8:30:23. We're running Poshmark in the background. 8:30:40. 40 steps between. This is for Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying.
Got it.
Guys, I don't know what the hell I'm trying to see without my glasses on. Who am I fooling? You can't see me anyway.
Okay.
Group message. I plan to visit Dad tomorrow. Is anyone else planning to go? Paul.
That's at 8:31, right? Yep. Group message.
Mm-hmm.
And then 8:31:15. Maggie's phone. Okay.
As did I.
MN phone shows a message from Lynn that was just read. Okay. 8:31. Device locked, so she reads the message.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put your comments up, but we had friends come in.
No, you're fine. He also had Paul had an incoming call I need to add. I just saw this in here. Sorry, this is not. I'd bring up True Draft right now, but I would dox all of us, so I'm not going to. But our other one has 8:30:10. Paul also receives an incoming call from Lucille Boyle, and he rejects it at 8:32:10. Just for the record, so he's rejecting a call there. Now we get up to him making. Let's go back to Paul. Right, so we're looking at
Colin Rogan for 4 minutes and 14 seconds.
Why isn't it not going? Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm just going down a little bit. All right. So, all right. Well, whoops.
There we go.
All right, let's see. Let's lead to, all right, so 8:32, got it. He's within. So he calls, there he is talking to Rogan Gibson. So from 8:40 to 8:44:34 p.m., he's on the phone with him. And then at 8:42, sorry, I'm multitasking. 8:42 p.m. That's correct.
What's X? Is we?
Paul Murdaugh takes 283 steps. 8:42:11 p.m. This is when the 243 steps end, or the 200 and oh dear, I don't even know how to edit in here right this second. This one right there should be from 8:32:25 right here. Yep, we got it. To 8:42:11. Paul has taken 283 steps. Then he calls, he does an outgoing FaceTime that doesn't really work. And that's when he did the kennel video.
You heard Maggie was on Facebook at 8:45. Where'd you hear that?
8:49:01. And I'll tell you, wait, what time is Maggie on Facebook?
8:45.
Ooh, 8:44 video. Maggie Murdaugh straight. No, I've got her. The last thing I have showing were either the group messages, like the family group ones, and then the Poshmark running at one point in the background. And then at 8:44:12, Maggie's phone screen is on. At 8:44:24, so 22 seconds later, her screen is off. Paul at 8:44, 10 seconds later, Paul's initiating a FaceTime call with Rogan. And remember, that drops. So that's why he starts doing the video. That's why he starts doing a regular video from his phone of Cash in the tail at 8:44:55.
Well, he's driving 300 yards from the house to the kennel and 283 steps. He's driving, remember.
And this is why Alex's phone doesn't have any activity, because remember, he left his phone. He doesn't have his phone with. I just think it's ironic. He doesn't have any steps, but they've got a ton of steps. What's even funnier is that he told law enforcement that he sat down to take a nap, like he watched TV and whatnot. And even on one of the interviews alone, he literally says he was on his phone. He was looking at his
phone watching TV.
Yeah, I was like, I was messing with my phone watching TV, but I was like, here's the thing, buddy, your phone showed no activity during that time.
That's correct.
So you weren't doing that. And so no wonder his stuff isn't showing activity, because he doesn't have it with him. Potentially maybe doesn't have it with him.
Say it for the people in the back. Paul never walks to the kennels. That is correct.
Yeah.
That was the statement. I don't know. Actually, I didn't ask Paul myself, but according to Liar Pants, he never walks to the kennel. But they said today, according to Alex Rockwhite, let's see. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, according to Liar Pants, correct. But do we believe?
So somewhere between 8:40, 8:48:59, when he reads the messages from Megan, and then by 8:49:35, so 36 seconds later, after viewing those two messages from Megan, there's no more. Rogan messages him, he never opens that message. 36 seconds after the messages he had opened from Megan, he never reads the one sent 36 seconds later from Rogan Gibson at 8:49:35. So at 8:48:59, his phone is, assuming it's Paul with Paul's phone in his own hand, he's looking at he's read two messages from Megan. 36 seconds later at 8:49:35, a message comes in from Rogan Gibson and he never responds. There's no more.
Was this the Celebrex system that you're talking about, Kara?
To celebrate?
Celebrex. What's Celebrex? Isn't that a medicine?
Celebrex isn't that a medicine?
So, see, it kind of gives me like my eye gets a little twitchy when we start talking about this phone data shit again. I got to be honest with you.
I mean, see, there's nothing. I mean, Paul's got nothing. That's it. So that's where, and his phone usage is pretty consistent on a regular basis, especially in the hours, earlier in the day. And up until this point, he had been very consistent in his usage of his phone. I don't think the state is wrong in assuming that this is a very good indication of an issue or the time that when he's no longer able to ever look at a phone again, actually. Like, I don't.
That's a good way of putting it.
So in terms of that, I would assume then maybe between 8:49:35 and 8:40. Let's see. It's the last two message from between 8:40 8:49. Yeah. And
so
think about it.
The Rockaways, does that answer your question or narrow it down what you were thinking, by the way? And not being sarcastic, I'm actually asking you, is that what your thought process was as well?
$8:40, yeah. That was a long message that that Rogan sent him at 8:49:35 too, because it said, see if you can get a good picture of it. Marianne wants to send it to a girl we know that's a vet. Tell him to sit and stay, and he shouldn't move around too much. And then Paul never gets back to him. He doesn't answer like later when he calls. And then that's why Rogan even messages Maggie, because he's like, can you tell Paul to call me?
I just realized how nasty that sounded, by the way. Rockaways, is that what you thought? Man. That's not what I meant at all. I really didn't. I was like, hey.
I promise I just cleaned up and show it in a way that's easier.
We're going to throw it in the, oh, look at this. Smarty Pants coming through.
Huh. Stop.
I love this. Oh, gracious, sir, come here. Shh. What I'm thinking is we try and put the spreadsheet in the Facebook group when we can.
Oh, yes. I need to upload all those case files too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not going live tomorrow. Actually, we're not going live tomorrow. Truth Teller's going live, so we can probably do that tomorrow.
Maybe and then, yep. And then we get live Friday. But yes, we have a lot of stuff, a lot of documents to upload.
Yes, we do. We should just upload the damn drive. There's a lot of information we got to vet first. But my question is, okay, this is what I wanted. My question is more, how do we go from friendly family visit to the kennels, everyone happy at 8:45 to 2 dead bodies a few minutes later? What else is happening in those critical minutes? That, I believe, is the question to end all questions. I have the same question. How did we go from this? I think
the same way he went from orchestrating someone to try to shoot him on the side of the road to making, when it doesn't go right, he still made the 911 call, and just like that.
And I think the crying from, hysterical crying to regular voice to hysterical crying to regular voice. Again, these are working theories.
It's a really good question, though.
But that is an awesome question. And I absolutely, I'm not going to lie, this one's going to keep me up tonight. This one, and I love this.
I do, yeah, I was about to say, I really do appreciate people that, because quite honestly, no offense, none of us are going to know. I mean, I don't think, not that we all aren't wise and smart people, but
we can only narrow it down to so much. We narrowed down. What did we narrow down the other day? When Jeannie was in his office.
Mm-hmm.
We narrowed down the time frame when Jeannie was, when she confronted him in the office due to the phone records.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best we can do here is kind of narrow down a small time frame. But I don't think, again, the question is more, how did we go? That's the motive that we're looking for, right? Maggie and the little detective Paul on something, so many things to choose from. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, and who knows how many pills he had in his system at the time, if he was, going through a time of detox again. Why did all three of them go to the kennels in the first place as a group? It's almost 9 p.m.
Billy girl, I was Maggie's sister. That's what he told Marion.
Why did all three of them go to the kennels? That's excellent. I think it was the Mr. Sir's idea to go down there.
I don't think it was just to go look at the dog. I think it was like, hey, let's go. Remember, he kept saying that he and Paul, by the way, at one point he says they were in the same vehicle driving around, earlier in the evening. And then the next time he says he was in the black truck and Paul was in his white one. And I was like, all right, well, do you want to clarify what you said earlier? Nope, I didn't think so. You must have just had your timeline wrong. I can't. The point is, he was at the kennels and he said he wasn't.
Right.
Three people walked down to the kennels that night. 2 were shot, and another one walks away and has no idea what happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rockaways does have good questions. You've tangled in other live chats. I love that. Hey, listen, I love a friendly, we can all disagree here. It doesn't have to. We're not in a vacuum. I literally hate that. I love when people disagree and ask questions because we've said it a million times. We'll say it on every live. You send us back to the drawing board. MK. Alex and Paul and Maggie, do you feel like everything was all good, but Maggie knew something was off according to the text? Right. Who do you think AM's sister is being? Oh, what do you think about AM's sister being a victim's advocate?
I think it's. I don't know if it necessarily impacts. She's not a victim advocate on this case, right? No, she can't be. I think it's interesting, and also not surprising.
Just Josie. Night ladies, and all my theory is cartel besides the average Mexican is 5'4", so there's that. Okay. Well, you know what? I accept that. I appreciate your theory. I really do. Hi, Kez. I love you. Thank you for being here. Rockaway says, dig your insight. My mind is not made up the case. See, mine's not either. Mine's not either. Michelle Smith. When Paul is standing, his tone is one way. But when he felt it was laying on the ground, the orientation would have changed. Why would that show up? Perhaps the phone he clicked it off in between. Do you know what I mean? Like your done messages.
Of course, I just closed out the spreadsheet because I had the time. I know what time he locked his phone. I think it's 1.8.
Didn't he? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He clicked. I do that all the time.
Yeah, I think that was that right here. Paul's location through location services. He's literally right at the kennels. Paulson's message. Sorry, 1 second. I'm taking it.
I think he turned it off and put it in his pocket. That's what I think, but I don't. It's like one of those. He doesn't put his phone down on the dirty ass table there. I mean, that thing is like an extension of his fingers. It's his communication. He sends how many gazillion messages a day? I mean, does anyone think Alex is waiting for that moment to get Paul and Maggie out of the kennels and had to go? Maggie, I don't know. I Okay. Well, I do know. I know what I think. I don't know the answer, but I do know what I think. And I do think that he did that, to be fair, Brockaways. I really do. I do think that.
Paul Murdaugh's phone was last unlocked between 8:48:58 and 8:49:01. So for 3 seconds, it's unlocked. And the next activity notification that, like I assume that would cause potentially his phone to light up, is the incoming text from Rogan, the yo text at 9:58. But then his backlight, his backlight is off from 8:49 to 10:18. Yo, I don't.
10:18 when he's trying to fiddle with his phone.
No, he fiddled that. I think he fiddled with the phone before then.
I don't. I think that's when he got back. Is when he did the fiddling with the phone when he discovered them.
But he was already talking to law enforcement then.
Right. That doesn't mean he didn't go down and fiddle dick around.
Oh my gosh, that's what's crazy, y'all. I was actually mapping that out, how quickly, like from being how long he spent at the house. It doesn't mean that what he told the dispatcher isn't 100%, but it isn't the exact way it happened or the right amount of time that when it happened. Because this is crazy to see him arrive back and call in the 10:05 10:05:06. He leaves the main house at 10:05:57. Remember, because when he came back, he went straight to the main house. He said it was quiet. So 10:05:06, he leaves the main house. At 10:05:57, his Suburban is arriving at the kennels. And then at 10:05:07, he's at the kennels. At 10:06:57 is when his steps start generating, the 594 steps he took. And at 10:16, he's taking those steps between 10:06 and 10:16:37. And at 10:16:14, though, he's on the phone with 911. It's just I'll take some screenshots of our the actual printouts of this stuff where we have the math done in to how many minutes. So this leaves X number of minutes, and then 36 seconds later, he's on the phone from 10:01 to 10:22:07. We'll have it mapped out so you can see the time, the length of time, and the difference of time.
Kaz said Netflix in Australia just put the Murdaugh murders.
Oh, good.
Low Country. I need to watch Low Country after you girls. Yes, you need to watch Low Country, but this Netflix thing is really good too. We're in the process of watching it, Kaz, and I encourage you to watch it. If you can, I think it's interesting. I bet he had a hole pre-dug to bury the guns and clothes. Perhaps he did.
And Michelle.
So over an hour, he let them lay there. Yes, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I'll definitely write that out.
Hold on. Just Josie said, see, 10:18 was the cops talking 20 seconds to turn Paul over.
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't. That math is impossible. He can't get from point A, his vehicle where his phone is connected, to point B, Paul, and point C, Maggie, in the amount of time that he says.
How about what Mark Ball said today too, though? He goes, what he picked up on, what made him, or someone correct me if I'm misspeaking, but I believe he said he picked up on that when Alec told him the stories, the first time he said it, he checked Maggie first and then went to Paul. And then he was then I was talking to, a day or so later, he's I got out of my car, came up, checked Paul, and then I went to Maggie. Like he just noticed that the order of things is he's still doing the same thing, the checking on them, but the order switches just as his
the
story.
Details.
Yes, just as his story to law enforcement, he keeps that same, the essence of the story and his steps taken according to what he did that night. He keeps that the same, but then he's not keeping up with the minute details that fall within.
Kez, message me when you watch the Netflix thing. I want to hear your thoughts. Philly girl, either he's going to prison for a very long time because of the financial. When I tell the murders are pretty low. Yeah. Here's the thing. He is going to jail for the financial crimes regardless, but I want to make sure he pays for the deaths that occurred if he did them, or if he has knowledge. Okay. That's why you never talk to the cops. They always find something wrong with your story to pursue you. No, true story. You know what? You have, say it with me, LFT, you have the right to remain silent. You just don't have the ability. I swear to God, if. It's a big if, Michelle. It's a big if. I mean, Poot and Jim, they're fighting tooth and nail, and they're putting up, a good fight. But I don't.
I want to.
What's weird is I almost want to go back to the beginning of the trial and start over. Is that weird? That's weird, but I do.
Well, as long as I don't have to do every minute of it, don't make me watch it all with you from beginning to end. But I have I know I'll still do it. I'll still watch. But here's a dinger for y'all to think about to end on. Anyone else think it's interesting that there's the debate about the I versus they, like they did them so bad and all that stuff? Anyone else think it's interesting that pops up when it comes to that September 4th 911 call? Because he says they in that as well. He uses they instead of, him. It's a they.
So we're playing the pronoun game again, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the Johnny Depp trial. You couldn't stop watching. I know. Michelle, me too. Me too. Me too. You guys, we're going to close this out, but I am so grateful that each and every one of you are in here tonight. Thank you for watching and for asking questions and for participating. If Paul had an alter ego name to me, maybe Alex had one too.
I think he did. I just don't think they named him yet.
I agree. Yeah. MK, thank you so much for being here with us this late. Get your butt to bed, and we thank you so much. If you don't mind, hit the like for your girls over here. We appreciate all the time that you spend with us each and every second. We appreciate the questions and the comments and your thoughts, because that's why we're here, is we want to hear what you have to say. This isn't just, how boring if you just sit here and listen to us wah along. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I know, it's so true. It's like that Al Pacino meme. I swear to God, just as I'm out, they pull me back in. Thank you guys for being here tonight. If you'd like to join our memberships, I will drop the membership link. Not a requirement. We just enjoy having you. You get some behind the scenes stuff. You can join our Facebook group to see some of our information if you're not in there. We are downloading lots of things to share with you. But we just appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Miss LFT. Did you fall asleep on us that fast?
Sorry, I was. No, I didn't. I didn't. But I didn't know I was. I didn't, but I also didn't know I was muted. So I said, yes, thank y'all so much. I've really enjoyed it. And
Joe. Hey, thanks for being a new member, friend.
That's
Welcome.
Awesome. Squirrel.
Girl,
Yes.
welcome to Decipher. That you will. I'm gonna make that a meme. We're just gonna squirrel. We love
Squirrel.
you, Kez. We love you, Kez.
No, I think what we got to make the hold on when I go. Wait, what?
I know.
Like I'm listening and then it clicks for me like 4 seconds later. Like, hey, remember a second ago when I said I was listening? I wasn't. Wait, what? That's how we roll.
Thank you for becoming a member. That's very kind of
awesome.
you. You guys have a very great day. Well, it's already Thursday. Enjoy your Thursday here, Kez. It's almost Friday for you.
We'll definitely see y'all
we will
Friday
catch up.
night.
Yeah, we'll catch up
here.
Friday night and celebrate some love for Mallory Beach.
And see y'all hopefully tomorrow night over on. If I'm not sure if Jen Lou's doing trial her update or not, but either see y'all there and on Truth Tellers or over at Truth Tellers and whoever else is live tomorrow. Just be sure to check everybody out.
Do the Murdaugh Mafia and close us out. You guys have a great night and thank you for being here. Take care.
Thanks so much.